Does it matter? Do I have to stand?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us. Like you said, my name is Kristi Getson. I'm the clinical director for personalized therapy. It's myself and Jennifer Tennyson. She's our board certified assistant behavioral analyst, and Keeton. He's our clinical psychologist, and they'll be going over some things that in more detail of what we offer to our community here. Personalized therapy, we opened in 2006. It is woman-owned, sole proprietor Melanie Lowater. She is an occupational therapist and really looked at our community and said, what do we need? What are we missing here? And one of the key things we were missing was services for children and adults in one setting. So we're a multidisciplinary clinic. We offer occupational, physical, speech therapy. We also offer, under our autism services group, ABA therapy, and Jen Tennyson will give you more information about that. And then in January of 2016, we started offering psychology services. We have one clinical psychologist on staff, and we have one LGPC on staff right now. Our clinic services both children and adults, so we're a one-stop shop for the entire family. We had gotten a question earlier today about being a gym. We're not necessarily a gym. We do specific therapy. Most of our referrals are from physicians, and then of course just word of mouth. We have 2 locations. One of our locations is here in St. Mary's County. It's on Route 235, traveling in the southbound lane. People know it by Rick's Jewelers, the new Rick's Jewelers, or the old Cheseldine. And then we also have a location in Prince Frederick, and it's near the hospital there. So, any questions? No? I'll bring Jen up. We'll start.
Okay, so as Kristi said, I'm a behavior analyst, and I help to provide with a team of about 40 individuals behavior analysis services. We mostly work with children with autism, but behavior analysis, kind of in a nutshell, is the science of behavior. So we seek to increase any good appropriate behaviors and then decrease any bad or maladaptive behaviors. We primarily work with children with autism, so we service a good chunk of children with autism here in our community, but ABA can be used on anyone. If you ask my husband, I use it on him every single day. So it's really just using the science of behavior to change behavior and to make a meaningful change and increase skills that we want to see. We think of behavior as anything that somebody says or does. So me knocking on the table is behavior, waving my hands in behavior, but if I came over and slugged Kristi, that would be behavior too. So we want to increase children with autism. As you guys might know, they have a lot of communication and social skills deficits. So we want to increase their social skills and their communication skills, but then decrease any of those maladaptive behaviors that we might see. So like I said, we have a good chunk of team members. We work throughout the county. We work in some private schools, we work in clinic, and we work in home. That's kind of one of the things that's very special about ABA, is that we're able to work across different settings. We also work in Charles County a little bit with ABA as well as Calvert County. So that's pretty much it. You guys have any questions about ABA or what we do there?
Kids?
I'm going to stand in the same spot. My name is Keeton. I'm relatively new to St. Mary's County, but my wife's connections go back as far as it goes, I guess. She's from the McKays over in Valley Lee, and we live on her family farm now. So I've been coming up here we've been married 37 years. I've been coming up here the entire time and just love it up here. We moved here from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I want to thank you all for the kind words about Eastern North Carolina. I have a lot of friends who are very concerned and don't know anybody who's in terrible trouble down there, but it is really, even in Fayetteville, which is 100 miles from the coast. They've had serious flooding. A lot of people put out their homes and that sort of thing, so that's my little, anything that can be done to help those folks. It's a bad situation and it's still getting worse. So, 2 years ago, I guess it is, I had the good fortune to meet Kristi and Melanie Lowwater through my daughter, who is the principal at Little Flower School. Little Flower. And has been, she came down here from Boston, basically because she felt kind of a calling to take care of her grandmother, Robina Keatley, who's living alone on the farm, is now 91 years old, and almost magically got this job as principal at Little Flower. She, of course, got to know Kristi very well, and on one of our trips up here, we went out to lunch together, and it seemed like our needs were kind of converging there, because I've been working as a clinical psychologist for 30 years in North Carolina. I'm a native Tar Heel. Still am. And,
Carolina blue tie.
yeah, well, you noticed that, right? The conversation went really well. We're in agreement on so many things, evidence-based practices, which is just a kind of a buzzword, but basically there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things in healthcare in general, but a lot of things in behavioral health, psychology, and that sort of thing that really have excellent research support behind them. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I've been interested in my entire career. That's what personalized therapy supports. That's part of their mission statement, if you will. And so, in addition to the fact that they were already doing behavioral services, specialized behavioral services that Jen was talking about, they wanted to expand that to a broader array of services. And I wanted to work up here. And I was a company co-owner for many years. I was ready to let that go and just focus on clinical practice. That's what I've been able to do. We, I think, have a notion that we may expand these services, but right now, basically, I'm providing services primarily for adults, full age range, individuals and couples, and some family work, from high school age adolescents with some fairly complex problems to folks who are my age and a little bit older, with issues like depression after stroke, anxiety disorders that have been lifelong. I have a special interest in trauma, PTSD, living in Fayetteville. I work very closely at Fort Bragg with many active duty and retirees. And that was another connection that felt very comfortable to me with the military presence here. And although Navy, Army, it's a little different, but not too different. A lot of the same issues. I'm not going to go into any great detail about the actual services, but basically we provide therapy services, we provide some assessment services. I'm not a neuropsychologist, so we don't do some of the very extensive testing that can be done, but certainly screening for problems that are related to the treatment plan. And then we have Sherry Utz, who is a licensed counselor who has a specialty in actually grief work and is becoming more expert in doing child work and working with a lot of kids with attention deficit problems, that sort of thing. And I think in January we're supposed to be bringing in someone else. So we have some hopes of actually expanding these services. And the other thing that I've done is kind of related to the military pieces. For years, I've worked with law enforcement down in North Carolina, and we've had some preliminary meetings with the sheriff here. And it's just that part of the community is a special interest of mine, and along with the military. And so we're hoping to grow this and to be a contributing part of the business here. And with that, I guess if there are any questions, let me just tell you one thing. On the back table by the coffee, the American Psychological Association provides a lot of information. There's some general information about psychology, psychological services. There's some specific information about anxiety, depression, psychological services that are associated with medical problems, diabetes, heart disease, chronic pain, that sort of thing. Feel free to take any of that if you'd like on the way out. So.